We are officially live. We're on. All right. Let me do. Uh-oh.
Why it's not live on Facebook?
You got live everywhere.
Not on Facebook.
Facebook. Go ahead, take your time.
No, I'm up under your page. I don't see it.
I am. It is. It's open. It's public. It's public.
Yeah, normally you'd be able to see it though. I can't. I'm just saying I can't see it. I
Can't
don't
see
know why.
it.
Like,
I'm
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not saying it's you. Could be me. I'm just saying.
okay. Hold on. Yeah. Let me make sure I open up the chat so I can see what's going on and upload the new number. I need to get a new number. Oh, thank you, baby. Okay, good.
Hey John, you live on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
You want to just share it for my page?
Hmm. Interesting.
Call in with comments.
I don't know.
Hmm.
You got it? No.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, I'm going to drop this number and then we're going to go ahead and get started.
You see it
Alexa.
on there, John?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. I want to
Yeah, I
welcome
don't see it either. I'm just saying it's not live on
Oh
Facebook.
yeah, I see it. I see it twice. Yeah, actually, I see it 3 times.
When you click
Dang.
on it, yeah, but when you click on it, is it?
Yeah, trust me. You're good. You're good. Trust me. I see it.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I'll leave it alone. I don't want no smoke.
You don't want no smoke.
None, none whatsoever.
You don't want no smoke. It's okay. What was that look for, John? You know what? Stop. All right. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on this live. If you get a chance to see it later, thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to send a shout out to my new subscriber. He's actually a photographer by the name of Abdul. Thank you for subscribing to my channel on Facebook and on YouTube. This is God level things that people don't want to talk about. Before we jump into tonight's topic, a little bit about myself. My name is Renee. I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri, but I'm down here in Houston, Texas. I am a mother. I am an entrepreneur. I am a sister. I am an aunt. I'm a cousin. I'm a friend. I'm a nurse. I am everything good. And here are my two co-hosts, King Newborn and John Skywalker. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Nicholson here, aka John Skywalker, the Sly Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and father. So we are in the new year, and I have a new album out titled Lightbenders. It was released yesterday. So if you like artists such as Common, Lupe Fiasco, Mickey Fax, Sky Zoo, real lyricism, real hip hop, conscious hip hop, spiritual, you need to go ahead and stream that. Available on all streaming platforms now. Also, I am offering a 30-day superfoods detox package that will help you cleanse your body, help you lose weight, and guide you on the path to a healthier lifestyle. I'm taking my joint right now. 6 superfood salads all up in one. You trying to do that? New you and all that? Plug in. By the way, I did say I'm a personal trainer and I will train you virtually. Let's talk at Master.John Skywalker. Instagram. Salute.
That's what's up.
Go
Well,
King
peace, peace,
Newborn.
peace, 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 peace. It's King Newborn. I am. I'm on all platforms as Newborn Everything. Please take time out to follow, like, share, and comment to each one of our platforms. Hopefully tonight be
Absolutely.
a great, 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 great show. And peace to all.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. I was looking at the topics. We're going to hit on 3 major topics. We're not going to be able to do all of that in one show, even though they are all connected. So I think we should go with child support first.
Okay.
Child support. I know because it's child support, it is government assistance, and it is housing. They're all intertwined. They're all connected. But we're going to start with child
Yes.
support first. Child support is a court order payment typically made by the non-custodial parent, which is the parent that's really not there in the household with the child. Divorced parent to the support one's minor child or children. Money paid by one parent to the other parent for the purpose of providing financial support to the child or children.
Mm-hmm.
I am currently receiving, well, no, I'm not receiving child support. I want child support. I'm receiving child support. I was supposed to be receiving child support. Um, this is the topic that you wanted to discuss, Mr. Newborn. Go ahead and lead the way.
No, I want to discuss all 3. It wasn't just that
We're
one,
gonna
but
discuss all 3, but we ain't gonna be able to hit
yeah,
all
I
3.
mean that's peace.
You
Right,
know,
right, 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 right.
let's break it up. We're just breaking it up. We're just breaking it up.
Got you, got you, got you,
All
got
right.
Mm.
you. Um, from my standpoint of just research, looking at things, this system called child support uh, has a lot of hands involved, and it's just not the 2 parents of the child. Even if you want to say one is non-custodian and the other one is custodian, they're still the parents of that child. For another party or third party to step in to tell 2 quote unquote adults, but in the court system, judicial system, they are considered minor. They're considered minors. Please understand what I just said. The 2 adults are considered to be called minors unless they have representation by a lawyer and
Mhm.
or they understand that as a major, which would consider them to be considered as adults within the judicial system, that means they don't need the court to handle their family matters
Mm.
as being parents to the child. This by whether you feel you are doing what's right by the child actually hinders the child because ultimately you're keeping both parties from being active parents in that child
Mm.
life by saying that the system is the only way to co-parent this living being. And I don't think that's a good way of handling stuff as adults. So that's partial of my spiel. Anybody want to chime in?
Yes, I do. Um, I'm currently receiving child support from my ex-husband, and I've been receiving child support ever since my kids was younger. And the reason why I'm receiving child support for him, that he actually wanted me to go down and put him on child support, is because he was paying child support to another young lady, and he thought by me going down to put him on child support that will cut down the cost. But with him not being here in the home, um, I think is we had an agreement that he would pay, but he has not paid. Um, and it does cost to raise children. If you're not here in the home, um, taking on some of these bills, food, medical expenses, dental, all of that. So I am in an agreement. I understand what you're saying. That the court system shouldn't be in between two adults, but I'm not gonna lie. Our divorce was ugly. It was really ugly. Um, and that money is actually very helpful in taking care of our daughter, even though he's not here. So yeah, it's well needed. It's well needed. I hate that the court system had to be the one to say, "Hey, she's gonna have to come back." That the court system had to come in and say that, "Hey, this is what needs to be done." We could have did it on our own had it not been a lot of anger there. We were not in the right state of mind. We really what the divorce was ugly. It really was. So yeah, I am in full agreement of having child support. I am, especially since the man is not in the home. That money goes to help again raise our child. I shouldn't have to flip the whole bill because it's expensive. I did not create this child by myself, so therefore I should not be responsible for paying for everything. He should have some type of responsibility in it as well. John, you want to add to that?
All right.
Real quick,
So
please say something, John.
yes.
I just want to point out two terms, just two terms real fast, and the two terms that just for the past week that I've been paying attention to. We subject to use raise as that is supposed to be the financial way to actually take care of a child, which the money side of things is to maintain the
Hmm.
Yes.
being of the child.
Okay,
There's a big
I'll take
difference.
that. That's fair. That's fair. Go ahead.
And to raise the child, you actually need both parents. Now, everybody's
Right.
situation is different, so
Yes,
therefore, I really can't comment on your situation. I'm just saying everybody's
right.
situation is different.
It
But
is.
to raise a child is one thing. To maintain one
Okay.
is a different as far as like upkeep. That's
Okay.
all. Shot it up.
Then, then
Nobody.
I'll
I'm just
then
saying.
I'll say maintain because as he's not really a part of her life, even though she'll be going up there for the summer. Hopefully they'll be able to bond more. But so yeah, I'll take that. Maintain. Yeah, I'll take that. Go ahead,
Mhm.
John.
Yeah, it covers basic needs.
Yes,
We're talking about what food, clothing, transportation, housing.
medical expenses.
So if you're paying mortgage, rent, car payments, bus fare, Uber
Absolutely.
fares, fuel, anything, any costs that are associated with
The
getting the
child,
child to, from, and home,
school,
school, family visits, places, activities, and then there's
extracurricular
tuition.
activities. I'm sorry. Go ahead. 'Cause
Dang, Renee.
Yeah, extracurricular activities. They want to go to the movies. They want to go out with their friends. That's money. Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going. Because I'm here. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tuition, right? Because some parents have their children enrolled in private school. Um,
Or college.
yeah, and that is a interesting one too because it can continue beyond 18 years of age.
Yes, it
That's something
can.
that a lot of people don't understand.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then there's extracurriculars. You mentioned healthcare, daycare.
Yes.
Now, daycare is kind of it's an inevitable expense for parents who work, right?
Hmm.
But usually when it comes to healthcare, the courts and the child support agencies, they usually determine which parent can obtain, like, I believe it's quality insurance for like the least amount of money, because they're trying to be cost efficient here. So that's how it's supposed to go, because it makes sense. Like, okay,
Hmm.
if my son's mother gets insurance for like 400, and I can get it for less than 100 because of my job, why are you going to go for the 400?
Right.
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 And then, there's like, of course, there's like special formulas that we have to consider. All cases, first off, let's just paint the bigger picture here. So, yeah, we have the feds that are involved in this whole scheme of things, but
Yeah.
your treatment in terms of your cases are going to depend on the state that you're in. It's going to vary from state to state, and they're all going to look at it differently, right?
Yeah.
So there are special circumstances, such as hardship, and you have special needs, or parental agreements, financial assets that's going to allow you to. You're going to have like different statutes applied to your case, right? But
Mhm.
what I want us to kind of remember here is we're focusing on, like you said, and I was going to say this also, the maintenance of the child.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very, no, I'm going to be very bold about this. My son, my son stays with me, right? And on several occasions, I've had a few people, kind of say, why don't you put your son's mother on child support? Look, if he's covered already in terms of all the basic needs that I just mentioned, I need involvement. You cannot tell me that maintenance is more important than involvement. You can't, because
True.
we have social and psychological costs that are associated with an absentee father. We have plenty of psychological research to prove this. You see all these little
Mhm.
girls out here, that don't know how to take care of a man. If dad was there, dad was more involved, that would be mitigated.
Or they
The
go
father,
looking, go ahead, or they go looking for love in all the wrong places because of the
right?
lack
I mean,
of
yeah.
not having a father in the home. So there, yeah, I get what you're saying. Keep going.
Yeah. There is an emotional toll on both sons and daughters when it comes to an
Hmm.
absentee
Hmm.
father. I mean, we're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about behavioral problems. We're talking about the lower likelihood of having like academic and professional qualifications in adulthood. We're talking about being more promiscuous. We're talking about diminished self esteem. We're talking about um, more likely to become teen parents, having a strong inclination towards drugs and alcohol abuse. Girls tend to be
Promiscuous.
more vulnerable to being exploited by
Yeah.
men with
I
their,
mean,
yeah, because of their father's absence, right? Because
absolutely.
a lot of the times we don't think about how dad is sort of grooming his daughter to look out for certain cues, even if he's not like, the star father, right? He, in some degree, is going to show her what to not look for. Like, okay, don't look for me. I don't want you dating someone like me. You need to date better. And he's probably more likely to be involved in the vetting system, right? Um, Kids without their fathers tend to enter into partnerships a whole lot earlier. They're more likely to um, divorce or dissolve their cohabitating unions, right, compared to children that have their fathers in their lives, right? Because those values are being, communicated. Um, they're more likely to have children outside of a marriage or a partnership.
Hmm.
Infidelity increases, right? So the presence of a father is very monumental. It's very crucial. It's very critical. But
Right.
the child support system, doesn't always convey that. And I know that there's two, like, all right, so custody and child support are
Two
interlinked, but
different
they're not
things.
the same thing, right? The
Hmm.
court
Two
treats
different
them as
things.
two different things. So I know a lot of the times child support is only focused on the financial compensation. And
Mhm.
I've seen some reports out there, even heard some stories where the courts are collecting child support, they're holding those earnings, they're pocketing those earnings, or using that money for something else, to a mother who is on government. So a lot of the times they'll find out, okay, let's just say I got a homegirl who applies for child support. They're gonna ask her, "Do you know who the father is?" Right? And
Yes.
she's just asking for assistance. Mind you, she's just asking for
Yes.
government assistance. She's not asking for child support. She's
Hmm.
being very specific. But they'll press for identifying where the father lives. Hey, what's his
Of
last
course.
place
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
employment, right?
Oh yeah.
So they're collecting data on the father so that
And
they
the
can
child.
start garnishing his wages, collecting that money, and then they'll say, "Yeah, we'll help you out. We'll give you some government assistance." So it's
Hmm.
almost like
Food
they're
stamps,
doing it to
everything.
kind of, yeah,
Hmm.
and it's understandable why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're trying to offset the costs that it takes to
Yep.
dish out that money to her. So it's
Hmm.
like, all right, cool. If we're going to give
Taxpayers
her
and everything.
public, yeah, if we're going to dish out money, if she's going to be an expense, if that family's going to be an expense, we want to at least collect some money from the father to offset those costs. So I want us to just kind of understand here that the child support system was not designed to encourage, although in some respects we kind of should press for it in policy wise, but they don't really, they pretty much ignore involvement, parental involvement. And yes, we understand that fathers are more likely to pay out proportionately. Fathers are
Hmm.
more likely to be held to a child support order than mothers. But
What is that?
Facts. Facts.
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know what that was either.
Uh, uh,
Okay, go ahead.
Fed.
Go ahead.
Fed.
but yeah, so it wasn't designed to encourage parental involvement. They're only
No,
focused on the finances.
the
So we have
finance.
to
That's it.
be very clear about the beast that we're dealing with this evening.
Right. Newborn.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I just want to say that not only child support and custodian changes from state to state, it also changes from judge to judge that is sitting in the seat.
Mhm.
So you may
Ooh.
have one judge to rule in favor of the mother or father, but then come right behind and literally say, "Oh well, that was another judge. I'm sitting in the seat now, so we're gonna go this way."
Hmm.
So you got to be very mindful of that. That's why it's very important, if you can, to get you a lawyer to represent you, because in some cases you're still a minor in front of the court, and
Mhm.
that's very important. Just like John said a couple of episodes back, you have to understand the vehicle, the terminology that you use, and most of the things you deal with in court is in Latin. So I'm just saying. Outside of that, you could actually fight to get custody 50-50
Yes.
and still
Mhm.
put yourself in a position to where you're still paying um, child support from a
Okay.
male's perspective. This I know, well, I don't say personally, but from a few people that I've talked to that actually got joint custody, they still pay child support for their child, even though the child is with them 50% of the time. Like they got a whole
Mm.
schedule. It's the calendar is split, and regardless of the fact, he still got to pay out. I know in some cases, and this is because of being a barber. You have some guys you getting them a haircut, and they want to release some of the steam that means they go
Mm.
through their day. Let their crown escape for a second. Where you have married couples living in the same household, and the wife will go file for child support and get it.
Mm.
Mind you, they live up under the same roof. The child lives there. The dad is a participant daily. They take them to and from work,
Okay.
and just because maybe somebody put a bug in her ear and say, "Hey, you can go down there and get you a check," but when you go down there, the caseworker really don't really care. It's not looked at case by case. Is that, well, today I haven't been productive. This month I haven't been productive. So let me get a couple of cases under my belt. All I need is a social, date of birth, name. And I can take from there, put it in the system, and
Yeah.
we
And
can,
find out where
you know,
he is and start garnishing his
yeah, where you
wages.
work at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll come right out
Uh,
of his check.
I also want to point out, you can do your own research on Google. Currently, um, monies that have been collected interest wise on child support is over $1 billion in America. So just think about that. The money they are
Mhm.
collecting is over I think it's $1.7 billion that have been collected by child support. Not only that, I hate to say this number too, 33% of men that are incarcerated. It's a high number due to child support. That's crazy. Now, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying we got to do a better job as a community, as a collective, when it comes to understanding the demise of the African man or African American, African descent, indigenous man. It's a direct attack on him daily. And so far, it's just a regular conversation. It's no big deal. And we don't look at it like that. Like, you still need that father in the home front. You still need that father in the community. We press real heavily on how much we want him to protect. But all I'm hearing is provide from a financial standpoint. But you keep taking him from the standpoint in which he can build with his queen, his woman, his lover, the mother of his children, to actually put him in a better economic situation for him and her to build together to actually grow something. Now, again, case by case, everybody doesn't have that particular mentality to build. And I understand, I get that. And it could be because of dysfunctional upbringing, raising of him or her as children, not because either mom and dad was the third, or mom was the third, mom and dad wasn't working together. Mom probably had some financial hardships, didn't have any resources.
Sorry, what is that? What is that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got bars.
I just keep hearing that.
Yeah, I got bars.
I mean, I hear it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, I'm like, what is it? Like, it's okay. All right.
Volume turned down over here.
Okay. Go ahead and finish.
I don't know. Y'all making me nervous now, man. I told you before, they freeze me.
Wait a minute. Costello just jumped in. I don't want no problems out of you today. I don't want no problems out of you today, honey. Go ahead, new boy.
Oh no, I'm gonna be quiet now. I told you they freezed up my email before for 4 months, so I don't want no problem.
Okay, John, you want to piggyback on anything he just said?
Yeah. Again, men are naturally overrepresented in terms of receiving child support court orders. I think the qualms that we have with the system is that the vast majority of dads out there are hurting, and the children are hurting from their fathers not being a regular part of their lives. But yeah, I agree. The attitudes and the policies and the laws need to change. It's like the system incentivizes poor single mothers, and poor fathers need better access to jobs and training and other supports that can enable them to contribute more to their child's lives. And you really have to consider how they've criminalized being a deadbeat parent, right? And it's not just for fathers; it's mothers too, right? So it's just that proportionately it's men, because women initiate about 80%.
Let's
And
talk
then
about why women initiate child support. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get to the root of why women initiate child support in some cases.
Are you doing from a personal standpoint or generally speaking?
No, I'm generally speaking. Women do it just
okay,
as
cool.
man. Women would do it just for the most, from what I've seen. When that man pisses them off, we got kids and you want to be over there doing something else, I tell you what, pay the child support. I've seen it. I've seen that happen. So yeah. And then I've seen, women who just generally want or need the help in taking care of that child since he's not in the home. Maintaining. That's the word we're going to be using. Maintaining the care of the child. And then you have some women out there, they do it just on purpose, get pregnant on purpose just to put a man on child support because they know he got a good job and he's bringing home money. it is known. Go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to throw that out there.
So there are some pretty clear flaws in the child support system. I mean, I don't think any system is going to be perfect, but we're just kind of discovering that there's been a lot of malpractice in the system, mainly because it favors women. And some people say rightfully it should be so because the state has historically provided for widows and for children. Right, it goes back as far as the 18th century, I believe. Um, so one of the flaws is that research has shown um, that men with outstanding child support debts tend to be less involved with in their children's lives. And you really
Mm-hmm.
got to think about that, right? Everything that I just listed in the beginning, it's like, all right, yeah, you want the child to be maintained, right? The child needs this, the child needs that, all in concert with your child having behavioral problems, your child acting out in school, your child being depressed, your child um, being out there in the streets. You're having. Mhm.
I'm sorry. Costello said it favors females and the rich.
Favors females and the rich. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
That is pretty
Yeah.
fair. Um, yeah, because I mean, it keeps poor fathers poor and single poor mothers poor too. It does do all that. Um, Now, I know I'm not going on a stretch when I say this, but women do tend to have the monopoly on victimhood, which is kind of like one of the undertones of this whole conversation. But men can also become victims to archaic divorce laws and family laws, right? So, like I said before, the current system fixates on enforcement, its father involvement to the child's lives, which, again, it has a lot of social related cost, right? But this also really focuses on low income Black non custodials and their kids. Like, all right, Walter Scott. Walter Scott, he was a father of four. He was killed by police. And according to his family, um, he was on the run from an arrest warrant due to an unpaid child support order. And the news has stated, I remember this just kind of circulating around, to kind of illuminate his character, that he had like over $6,800 in child support payments. Right now, you got to really think about this. This man was in jail for failure to pay child support. Right?
Yeah.
There's not much backstory on his attempts, right? And usually when a parent, not just a father, but when a parent cannot pay the full amount, they usually make adjustments, right? They usually make amendments to the payment. So it's usually like a program so that penalties don't pile up. Because again, if you have a diminished amount of income coming through child support, the mother is more likely to request government assistance. So that's going to hurt taxpayers' dollars. That's going to hurt the Fed's income, right? That's an expense on the Feds. So it really behooves the system to push for child support payments, right? But, Walter Scott died, from that premise that he was already sort of set up to fail because they were like, yo, we need this money. And it came at the cost of his life. You criminalized him and you kept him. I mean, you got to think, how's the man going to get a better job? He starts off already not educated. Most Black men don't come off as educated. All right. So remember, we don't have our dads in the house. We're promiscuous, teen pregnancies. We didn't go to college. We're not getting these 6-digit. Yeah, we're not getting the 6-figure income, right? So we knock up the kid, doesn't work out. You get put on child support. You don't have the money to pay for child support. You go to jail. You come out of jail to reintegrate. With what job? So then while you're in prison, it's still accumulating.
It's still
right?
accumulating. Yes, like what? he locked him up for non-payment, but put him in jail, and then all of a sudden it just continues to build up.
And he can't save. The system it's not set up to where he could save. And in order for you to, if you married, of course, you have to prove your paternity to the child first before you can even fight for joint custody. You have to prove that first. So you got to go through this whole process just to, get legal well, I don't want to say ownership, but to get a legal claim or to get parental rights to your children. So it's already it is set up for him to fail. Now, again, I don't want it to seem like it's only specific towards fathers, because women go through it too. Again, like I said, single father here. But
I haven't ran into a woman that went through something like this. I haven't yet to run into one that's paying child support to a man. I have yet to run into one. It's always the other way around. Either the man is paying child support, or he can't afford to pay child support, or he's not paying child support. So Mr. Bourne, you wanted to say something. Go ahead. Because he said you wanted to.
I mean, y'all pretty much covering everything. It's. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, we can continue to say it's about the money. We continue to say that because of the melanated man or the black man, African man, whatever you want to give him a status as.
Okay.
He's a deadbeat. He's a deadbeat socially by society. He's labeled as a deadbeat, but then within the system, he's a felon. He's a class D felon. So who wants to hire him just knowing that he's a felon?
Right. No matter what class it is, you see the word felon and it's just like, oh no. They're immediately turned off. So, okay.
Right. So if there was any opportunity for this man to put himself in gainful employment, even from the standpoint of being a entrepreneur, to probably go after a grant, or some type of loan to help perpetuate the business forward, to put him in a position to have access and more resources. I mean, you just killed all of it. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm not saying that, it's an excuse. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, but just think about that. From one day, somebody upset, man, whatever the case may be, we're not thinking with a clear level head. We in our emotions and our feelings. We separate. It's a child in the middle of this. Who is really affected by all of this?
The child.
It's the child. Yeah, so it's
child.
Not, I hate to say it. I still look at it like if you have a parent with a sound mind and can comprehend what's so hard about removing your emotions and feelings and sitting down at the table and be like, let's talk about this, because it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you. Let's talk about this.
When it all depends on.
Like I say, I'm not making it personal. I'm just saying in general.
If you're talking about people who lack of education, we're talking about living in the hood, which we've all come from. That's not happening.
Okay, then let's take what you just said. Again, I'm going to say remove
all. That's not happening at all. Go ahead.
I'm still saying, if you were to remove all emotions and feelings, you can take all the negative additives you can put together from the system to, you want to say white supremacy, you would say it's a deadbeat asshole father. If all of this is true, who is taking the time out to say, here's a solution? And the solution is to remove maybe this system, or maybe to implement this program, or implement this program. Because all we're doing, we just continue to perpetuate what's already going on. Some way, some form, some facet. So the child probably going to come up knowing that mom happy about receiving child support, or I got his ass finally type stuff. He going to feel my pain, or it may be the situation the dad could be upset at the mom and mom's on child support, but what about when it comes down to the child? case in point, my son felt like my oldest boy felt like I didn't love him anymore because he felt like I was giving my time and money to his sister. This is fact. And I ain't really trying to put my business on her, but I'm just saying it's an example. It's a real
Mm-hmm.
example. So I actually
Okay.
had to walk through it and explain everything to him and talk to him about it. And after that, he understood, but it created a wide gap in our communication,
Oh wow.
all because of it. But I'm just saying, sometimes you really have to take time to think long term, the bigger picture. By me making this decision now, what are the true effects down the line? Because it's bigger than my thought process and my
Mhm.
comprehension of things. You have a young child that one day is going to become an adult. Look back on this. Well, I remember when Dad went there no more. Well, Dad had to go to work. Dad had to actually put in some extra hours because, like you say, lack of education, lack of resources. He got the system against him. He is a
Right.
felon, and he's trying to do
Right.
what he feels he can, but he's also a product of the same environment he's creating. I'm just saying.
Mm.
I don't know. Just when do you come with a solution to break the cycle? That's all I'm saying.
That's all gonna start in the home. That's all gonna start in the home. We talking about you're expecting people who have come from broken families to sit down without emotion and without drama, without toxicity and toxic ways or behavior, whatever, and come up with a solution that you just said and removing the system and saying, hey, we're going to co-parent. This is how we're going to do it. That's not happening. That
It
is
could,
definitely.
it could. Usually
It's not.
what happens, well, traditionally what's supposed to happen is when you go through a divorce, you're supposed to seek some counseling.
Oh yeah,
You're supposed to go to couples counseling. And
yeah.
you have the couples
Uh-huh.
counseling to kind of help put you guys, or at least sketch out a plan, create an environment to where you guys can adapt to this traumatic event. And of
It is
course,
traumatic.
yes, it is traumatic, but of course, we're in a system where only a certain socioeconomic classes is afforded that luxury. So, of course, you have minorities. I'm sorry, y'all. We have minorities. Not yeah, we're gonna say non-white. We'll say non-white. We have non-white people that um, have been systemically discriminated against, and that includes access to mental health. So we're least likely to get married. We have a lot of black women that have never been married. And
Mhm.
so if we're talking about having children out of wedlock and you have to prove your paternity, right? That means that a system that would otherwise say, okay, you guys just had a traumatic breakup, go to counseling, and then let's talk about um, the continued child care post separation. That would be the ideal system because both parents are hurting, right? And they're hurting probably a little bit more than the children ones that were directly involved, and they have to do the most adapting. It's not to say that children don't have any work to do. It's not to minimize their pain, but the ones that are usually affected are usually the ones that are the most vested. So parents, unmarried, would ideally go to therapy, right? And if somehow, some way, the mental health community could be tied into the legal system, as it already is,
Mhm.
if there was some sort of cooperation where I don't know, some of the fees for some of the legal fees kind of go into this, I don't know, this escrow account where the couples, married or unmarried, seek a few, it might be 2 or 3 therapy sessions so that you guys can have homework assignments that will help you get to the place where you need to take care of the children,
Child.
and yeah, or the child, and
Right.
you guys are doing this from a space of healing. You both are healing so that you guys can accomplish this. What ends up happening is many of us don't heal, and we take out all of our anguish on the other parent. and we weaponize child support to do
Yes.
that. That's both men and women, fathers and mothers, both doing that.
That's what I say that, yeah. Oh, he left me like this. Oh, this is how I'm gonna get him back. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. But nobody's thinking at the end of the day, it's all about the child. I used to stress to my ex-husband, I just want you to continue to be a part of their life, even though you're miles away. Communication is huge. Let's keep up with the dates that we come up with as far as when they're gonna come down to see you, how you're gonna be picking them up. So I really kind of kept it business like when he came to get them. He never had to wait. They was always ready to go. He would always let me know when they got there. I wanted them to continue to be in his life and him in theirs. I wanted that. I really did. And that's what we talked about. I said, I just want you a part of their life. Money wise, okay, yeah, you're not putting out, okay, but at least call and talk to them. Call and talk, do something. Call and talk to them. So yeah, but we have a system that it's not created for us to move forward. It's like people get stuck on it. When you look at all of them, the child support, the government assistance, the housing, people get stuck there. That system is not for us. So, and then at the end of the day, last week we were talking about how we're not even putting out men. So how can we expect these young men or young women to sit down and have this conversation concerning a child when they still children themselves here? I'm sorry. Yeah. So that child support system is another way to keep us down. I hate to say it. It don't really work. It causes more problems in a man's life than it does in a woman's. Because if he's paying child support and he can't afford to pay, then when that bill gets high, they're gonna come and take him to jail, and then it's still gonna accumulate, and then he's gonna be hit with this and hit with that, and his back is up against the wall. Some men could use that as a scapegoat. Yeah, well, I'll just pay child support. I ain't gotta be there, but you getting that check every month. We have men out there like that. So yeah, it's a nasty game.
To spend, I mean, this is total. This is I'm just throwing something out there. So let's just take what you just said, right? So
Go
he's
ahead.
paying child support or he's on child support, and
Mhm.
let's say he just did 2 years in jail. He get out, child
Ooh,
support back up. Child support up, maybe he like 30 in a hole or something. Just to say something crazy, right?
ooh.
And at this particular point, could he still be considered a productive model citizen, knowing the fact that he just
Ooh,
did jail time as a felon?
ooh,
On paper, no.
Okay, let's go even further then. He just did a hard time for child support. He's locked up with rapists, murderers.
mm,
You know what that's going to do to his psyche?
Yeah.
He just became a hardened criminal. He had to
mm.
survive in there.
Oh yeah.
So when he get out, do you think he's less likely to be upset?
He's gonna be more upset.
Okay, now let's take it even further. We're trying to change the community. What you just put in the community when you released him from
Mm.
Angry
jail.
black man. An angry black man. Oh my god.
So we fit the description all over again. You tried to demasculate him, and in the process, you just created a monster. Now, when he gets with another woman, or what's going to happen then? Is he going to be able to build? Is he going to be on some shicey stuff? Is he a true scammer now? Is he going to be vindictive and take his pain out on her? Like, what we
Ooh,
doing here?
right. Right.
I'm just saying, man. You got to. I mean, again, case by case situation. True enough, we
Right.
would like to paint the picture. It wasn't me, it was him. or it wasn't him, it was her. However you want to paint it,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
you have a child that's gonna grow up.
Pointing the fingers at each other. Pointing the fingers at each other. Nobody wants to accept blame. It took two.
But more importantly, like John said, at some point, male or female, that child is still gonna have some type of connection with their father. You can put all the great men in that child's life. It's nothing like knowing the person who you were made from,
Yeah.
you love, they love you back. You
Oh
can't
yeah.
replace that.
You can't.
You
Yeah.
can't replace that.
No, you can't.
Uncle, brother, big brother, grandpa,
Cousin. Right. Granddaddy. All
cousin, they can all be great male role models. But the fact that you know you came from this one particular man, you want to know, is it genuine? You want to know, is it some part of them that loves you and care about you? Or you might be one of them childs that grew up and feel like, daddy wasn't me. Was I the reason you left?
Ooh.
I'm just
We
saying,
mm,
you really got to think about some of your decision choices and how you execute them and what's the long term effect. We don't understand what karma truly is. It's nothing more than the energy that you send out. It has to come back
Mhm.
full cycle at some point. At some point. It's not negative nor positive. It's just energy you put out. It's got to come back.
right. Mm. This was good.
Mm.
This was a good show. Can we let's go ahead, and since we're talking about child support, hit on government assistance. We'll do that part too, but let's can are y'all even ready to hit on government assistance?
I want to throw something out here real fast since you brought that up.
Go ahead.
Government assistance. So let's look at housing.
Section 8.
Section 8, or just to be waiting for your house voucher
Mm,
Mm.
from the housing authority.
mm.
I already
Okay.
made it clear from the Housing Authority Act in 1949 states that you can only have one low income adult in the house.
Mm.
97% of the people that apply for housing are female. So what does that do for the poverty stricken areas of our community today? Where does the man go?
Mm.
I mean, you're forcing him to leave the home where his children lie. He's gonna seek shelter somewhere else at some point if he can't do it himself.
Right.
I'm just
Mm.
saying you're
Wow.
creating statistics on top of statistics back to back
Oh
to back to
yeah.
back. And there's
Because
definitely no
women
way.
oh, hold on. Who is this? Do we bash Jehovah Witnesses up in here?
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead and
no.
ignore that. Yep. Go ahead and
Okay.
yep, mod that.
All right. Um, how do I put user in timeout? Oh, you can do that?
Yeah, we need to do that.
I think I did. Yeah. I put them in, yeah, timeout. Um, that's not a good thing. You
Mm.
have women on Section 8 who get in these places without a man, paying this low rent. Um, oh my, it's not, and they're not using it as a stepping stone to take out this time to, okay, I don't have this
Mm.
balloon rent to pay. I can focus on something else, and they get stuck there. You have the government taking care of this woman, so the woman is getting all of her needs met by by the system, the child support, the housing, the welfare check. Oh God, the Medicaid. All so at the end of the day, they looking at him like, well, what can you do for me if the government is providing me for all of this, and then they get stuck there.
Mhm.
I
Let's
just
go
put
even
it
further and say that woman might have a sense of pride. She might have a ego. She might get a little cocky confident and
yeah,
feeling as if, he's definitely not my equal because I'm straight. My bills good, my kids eating, you know,
you getting $600 a month in food stamps. You ain't got to worry about paying your rent.
or a
Um,
thousand or 1,500.
right. I ain't gonna even lie. I was looking for something earlier this week. And and then you can, and then here's another thing that keeps you stuck. You can only bring home a certain amount of money.
I think it's they allowed to work 27 hours a week. I'm just saying, think about it.
Don't say that. Don't. Are you serious?
Look here. I'm
I
serious.
found
Think about
the
that.
numbers for the poverty line. In 2021, the guideline said for one person, 12,000, two persons,
Oh,
17, three, 21. $21,000. I can't make more than $21,000.
well, the national average for income, I think is between 31 and 38,000 a year. So that's like maybe 2,800 a month to about maybe 33 and some change.
And that's the average.
That's average.
You're close to the poverty line, so the idea is, unless you level up, you should stay close to the poverty line.
Exactly.
So you can't, and I've seen people do that, change their check stubs to make it look like that they still make.
But they're only doing is putting themselves deeper into debt though by doing that. And the system is already designed to do that. So I mean, you could go ahead and try to live without me, but I'm gonna make sure you understand you still need me. And I'm not talking about me as the man, I'm talking about me as the
Mhm.
system.
Oh yeah,
You
oh
still need
yeah,
the system.
oh
I'm
yeah.
very
And these people,
resourceful. My name is
mhm,
known everywhere. Everybody look for me. Everybody wants my help. So why don't you go
yeah.
ahead and join the squad? So
I found myself in between jobs. I'm not going to even lie. Earlier, late last year, and I thought I might file for some assistance. They wanted my tax returns.
well, that was your answer then, huh?
I was like, oh no, they'll see my tax returns and be like, you need to go find you a job ASAP. They'll be like, nah, no. As a matter of fact, you no, no, no. I I I didn't grow up on the system, so I'm not really too familiar with it. Um, Back in school, I think I was like third or fourth grade. A girl that I was real cool with, her name was Tanil. I'll never forget it. She said it was Mommy's Day. That's what they used to call it back in the day. Mommy's Day. Mommy's Day was when mothers would get their check. Um, so of course I came home excited to ask my mother about Mommy's Day. And she gave me a really stern look. She said, honey, I work for a living. And I was just like, oh, okay. So even when we did live in the projects, ninth floor, Shoto, my mother worked at St. Louis University. She kept a job, and so did my grandmother. So even though we lived in the projects, they were still working women. So no, and when I did attempt to get some assistance when I was pregnant with my first child, my son, when I went down there, I seen all these girls did up, hair done, nails, purse, dress, and I'm like, y'all coming down here to get some assistance with brand new nails? I'm just like, okay. When I was able to get and all I wanted was Medicaid, that insurance to cover Trey's birth. But the lady told me that I was eligible for money. And I said, just out of curiosity, I said, how much? She said, oh, $156. I said, that's it? She said, yeah. I said, and people sit on their butt for 30 days waiting on this check. She said, you'll be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I can make that in a couple of days, honey. I'm a CNA. She said, you would be surprised. So I couldn't, since I wasn't brought up in it, I wasn't used to it, and I wasn't going to depend on it. I was surrounded by working women. I knew to get out there and work, But help, I needed. Even when I was in school, the childcare, I needed that. But once I got through school, I no longer needed it. I was like, no. You use it as a stepping stone, but some people get stuck there, literally.
I mean, how can you use it for a stepping stone if there's so many rules and regulations
Who is
that
this? Where is these people coming from? Are y'all seeing these comments?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Stepping stone when you have the system within the system saying, well, if you decide to step outside of the rules and regulation, we got to cut you off instantly, and then we might even want you to pay some of this back. Like we're gonna need some of that back.
Mm-hmm. That seems kind of rational, though, doesn't it, or nah?
Okay, I cannot block this person. I don't know how to. Okay, wait a minute.
That looks Russian.
It does.
I was
Hide
gonna say
user,
that.
remove. Yeah, what in the world is going on? Where are these people coming from? Okay, now I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Yeah, I just
No,
wondered with them requesting some of that money back. It's kind of that principle of, is there such a thing as free money in
no,
the United States?
no. Some way, somehow, you're
And
gonna
the
pay that
thing,
interest. You're gonna pay that interest. You either gonna pay interest or you're gonna pay the taxes.
oh
One of the two.
God, I'm gonna have to add her as a moderator next time she come back on. Costello. I'm sorry, but what was the question? Because I wanted. What was the question, Dion?
No, I was
Yeah.
just making a statement about when you bump the system and you try to
Mhm.
use the system to come up. The system make
As
sure
a,
you
as a
understand.
stepping stone,
Yeah,
because not everyone gets stuck. I didn't get stuck. Not everyone gets stuck. So if you find yourself in a position where you need the assistance, okay, take the assistance while you continue to work on bettering yourself. That's it. But some people get stuck, you
some
know.
people or some women. I'm just curious.
People,
Just curious.
people
Because
get.
I don't know too many men that come up in the projects on living assistance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm off a 12th and Shoto myself, so
Okay. 12th and Shoto. Oh yeah, down there by Peabody's. Oh,
Peabody's, Doris Webby. Yeah,
and that, I
I'm
can't
a
believe
product of that.
Peabody's is still standing. Like I'm surprised they ain't tore that down yet. Like, are you serious? This
Tear it
place is
down.
still-
Have you been through there?
No.
Oh,
But like,
okay. Well, if
wait,
you
wait, wait,
go
wait,
through there,
wait, wait, wait,
you
wait,
will
wait,
be
wait,
saying
wait,
what
wait,
you're
whoa,
saying.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Now across the street from the Peabody's used to be some high rises. They tore them down to the 5th floor. Then they said, forget that. We're just gonna tear all of that down. Then they built townhomes.
And I used to live in those too. So I'm saying I am a product of everything that we're talking about, from the rooter to the tutor. I've been a
Amen.
statistic since I was 4. So
Okay. Okay.
I mean I can share a lot on this. Even
Okay.
down to the what you get the what they call it, the government cheese.
The block of cheese that was always so hard to cut, but melted very well.
Must have been plastic. You hear
Wait a minute.
me?
I remember the block of cheese. I remember that. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Did you? Wait a minute. I went to Peabody. Where was you at down there? What
What do you
year?
mean? The year I was 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, birth,
Okay.
all the way up to maybe what 12, 13.
Oh my
What they
God.
call yeah. You live over in the new buildings. But case in point, the projects was also a social experiment, just like uh,
Yeah.
Period Igo.
I
And Period Igo used to be over there off of Cass and Jefferson. Um, they used to sterilize the men that went off to the war. I mean, but that's a whole nother subject. I'm just saying,
it is. And
it is war
we're
on.
at an hour.
Yeah,
We're at an hour, but we definitely got to hit more on this housing and government assistance. Our people are getting stuck there. And when it comes to Section 8, some renters won't even take it. They
true.
will not take it because they say when they do rent out to people that have Section 8, they do not care
Yeah,
that
you
they
got a
own.
jacket too. Just like I got the felony. You got the jacket because you're on Section 8. So you automatically looked at. You're bringing drama to an area that we don't even want drama in. Matter of fact, we probably want
Right.
you here.
Right.
So
Yeah. So they keep them in a certain area. I was like, they moving them like chess pieces.
yeah,
They're,
what they
yeah,
say. Oh, you have to wait to the new housing listing to come out. So you can't just take that anywhere.
no, you cannot. No, you
I mean, I'm
can't
just saying,
get
you just got
Section
to
8
really think about what
ready
you're
to move to
signing up
West
for.
County. Look, in St. Louis, you can't get Section 8 and thinking you're getting ready to move to West County. It's not
No,
happening.
it'll never happen.
That look at you like, excuse me, you better take that back to West City.
Yeah, to the west side.
Yeah,
But
to the west side. Yeah.
I mean, case in point, it's a bigger and a deeper monster than the surface of just saying child support and
Government
you know
assistance
government
and
assistance, housing. It's like
welfare.
we
Big.
want to say it's a lot of conspiracies, but there's nothing really that's a conspiracy no more. It's either truth or some way somehow it's a mass cover up. So
Okay.
it's up to us to do our due diligence to really see part of this Ponzi scheme. Where do we fit in at? Like what's our purpose? Just like John said, he is a part of the, and I commend you, John. I love it that your upbringing put you in a position to where you did have somebody to say, look, come on, follow me. I'm going to show you something different. That's just a beautiful experience within itself, and it happened in your younger years to where you are a model citizen in society. You're making correct decisions, not to be a menace. And in my turn, even though I could talk about, well, I grew up in the projects just like my sister, and I was faced at 4 and 5 to lose both parents, but here I am still making
Yeah.
decisions to move correctly to the extent of my knowledge and the capacity of my understanding over the years. So yeah, you can beat it, but the system makes sure you understand. As long as you got that social, there's only so far you can go.
Oh, okay. Great.
I ended up beating it. Yeah. Um, just a short story. I was over in Kuwait. This is like 2010 to 2013, and
Okay.
I was making good money over there. And I think I was paying like maybe four. It was like 469 a month for my son. Um, my son's mother was pretty much reliant on my child support. Um, she wasn't working. Um, oh gosh, yeah, she had a lot going on, and she tried to go back to school. Didn't work out. But she was living off of my child support. Now, mind you, she's got two, probably three kids around this time. Yeah, working on the third, and she was living off of my child support, right? And it wasn't a big deal to me. It's like, all right, hey, that's just that money goes to him. You do what you will with it. And my visitation was more like I would come once a year to scoop him up because I'm over there trying to make money. Because at the time, I mean, before I went to Kuwait, I was still paying child support. I wasn't with him, but it was just an expense. I didn't get visitation like that because we were in different states. Not a big deal to me. I was,
Mhm.
and by my standards, I was a deadbeat because it's like you're looking at your child as just a paycheck. You don't. No one really thinks about that. How the father looks at a child, that child support check is just an expense. It's just a thing that comes out the check. You're not talking to him every day. You're not connecting with them. You're not picking them up. There's no skin to skin contact. You don't think that has a psychological effect on him, let alone the child. But what about him? It's kind of
Yeah.
dehumanizing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm paying the child support, but I didn't like the trajectory of his growth. It's like he was 4 years old, well, yeah, 5 years old, 4 or 5, and I'm like, I can't have a full conversation with my son. Something's not right. Developmentally, something's not right. And so I decided, just through prayer, it's like, all right, look, I'm not going to re up my contract out here. I'm gonna go home. God, I'm gonna trust you to help me figure this thing out. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I need to go home. And so I came home. This is my second time going back for my son and going like, okay, I'm gonna go broke just to be present, right? And it's like there's more value. A lot of people don't understand this. There's more value in a man being present than that maintenance.
It
I promise you.
it is.
Taking it from somebody who went
It
through it and
is.
then who's returning it. I can say it. I can boast about it. I didn't
Yeah.
have my dad physically, and I know the consequences of him not being there. It's like, well, John, you turned out great. You don't know the process. We just talked about
Right.
the
You don't
process
know
I
the
had to
Exactly.
go
process.
through to be
Right.
this. And so
Right.
now I'm trying to pay it forward so that those obstacles aren't there. So John comes back and I'm jobless. And as a result
Mhm.
of me being jobless, on her end, she couldn't afford to pay the rent. She couldn't afford to pay anything because her main source of income was me. So as a result, she had to give the kids to their respective dads, and it was supposed to be temporary, but it ended up being permanent.
For
So
all
that's
of
how,
Mm.
yeah. So that's how I ended up. That's how we ended up out of the system. Is because it just failed to work for us, mainly because of me.
Right.
okay.
So it ended
Yeah,
up
that's deep.
shifting
So,
to it became less about finances and more about support system because kids need a
Okay.
support system. And that again, she was disadvantaged. This is no the most favorable position. We're talking about children being raised in families, okay? This isn't just nuclear
Right.
family. There's other people involved. So there's a social support system that's there for that child. There's the mother and father that's there for that child. There's grandma that's there for that child. And so when you have a single mother who's not getting any financial support and she's not getting any social support from her family, she's less likely to
Mm.
succeed. So I was fortunate to be able to get my son and just start from scratch and figure it out from there. But
right.
as a result, I also understood his mother's situation. I understood that okay, she only, she was in the military she was dealing with a lot of mental health issues. We talked about that with mothers, right? mothers having mental health
Mhm.
issues, fathers having mental health issues. So
Yeah,
your mobility is less likely. You got a mental illness. You're not going to perform
right.
competently at the same level as your
No.
peers who are competing for the same
No.
job, right?
Mm-mm.
So if you're a single mother and
No.
you're in a low income environment, you're on government assistance, what's the probability of you mobilizing upward economically, academically? It is
That's it.
difficult. You got 2 or 3 kids
That's
and you
it.
gotta go back to school and you working this job right here? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's gonna happen for everybody. Yeah, that's gonna happen, right? So the reason why, that's how I ended up beating it, and I ended up taking them into custody, full time. And I ain't gonna front, it was a rugged learning experience. There was a whole lot of adapting that I had to do. I'm dealing with PTSD at the time, just recognizing and accepting, oh, I
Wow.
got PTSD. And then I'm going to try to be a full time single
Father.
parent. And then I'm going to
Amen.
try to go back to school. And I had to move back in with my mom, and I'm figuring all this out. And that's how we got here today. And it's like, I was fortunate. I want to emphasize this. Me being the man that I am today, fortunate. Me being a single father and having the resources to do it, fortunate. Fortunate,
Fortunate.
fortunate, fortunate. That's not the standard. All
Right.
black
Right.
men can't do that,
No.
but we're expecting that. We're expecting it to be like that. We're expecting that, okay, you got to pay child support. I still want you to be involved in your child's life. It is extreme.
Mm-mm.
Low income, non custodial fathers are a disadvantaged group. It is well documented. So we really need to think about the barriers that they face and what are you really trying to accomplish. And I
And how,
understand that some mothers they can't help it. They can't help but to put the non fathers on child support. They can't help it because sometimes, more often than not, those systems are going to pressure them to put them on child support.
if they go down
Good
looking for
conversation.
if they go down looking for assistance, they're gonna want to know who that father is.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, this has been a very good conversation. Thank you for you shared tonight, brother. You
Always.
really did.
Try my
You
best.
shared. So I love that. I love it when you can just be real about it. Oh my God. You shared tonight. So thank you. Alexa, play. All right, so next week we're gonna do the part two of government housing, Section 8. We're just
Tannis.
gonna
Mm.
we're just gonna go ahead and continue on that because they're moving them like chess pieces and they're only keeping them on certain sides of town with that government assistance. So they know where they are at all times. I just
Mm. And you know where? Never mind. Right. We'll talk about it next week.
no, yeah, we're gonna do part two. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for jumping in. The music you hear in the background belongs to my boy John Skywalker. You can find him on
Streaming platforms.
all streaming platforms. So,
Light Benders.
huh?
Light Benders. That's the name of the
Light
new album,
benders.
y'all.
You know what? I want to do something different on the ending. I wrote something the other day. I want to leave off on a positive note. So this is for everybody. Where is it? Right here. Be happy, be encouraged, be brave, be fearless, be loved, be peace, be healing, be confident, and most importantly, be you. Try to think about that.
Like it.
You like it, John?
Mm.
You like it? All right. That's how we're gonna end it from here on out. See y'all next week.